So, welcome to James's Model Railway, and today there's a little more of an update with things, just to say that the three lines were all laid down, properly laid down. I'm just going to pick the camera up and show you, so it may be a bit wobbly after now, but as you can see, as I walk along, so from here and here, there's going to be station platforms. I think I'm doing platforms for these two, and then I'm going to run two run-through lines that are going to go through, so there'll be a platform here and then a platform here, and these two lines will run straight through. All of this is now wired in, points, motors, frogs, everything, including the, I don't think there's much light for you to see it. Let's just, you can see I've just placed a bit of copper wire in there and I've soldered those in, so they're now done. All the points have been done like that, so that's all done. As you will remember, I don't know actually, I may have not done it. May have not gone on the wiring thing for me. Let's just get my camera facing down just so we can show you. The way I was connecting my wires together were these, let's move this paper so it's brown, were these electrical blocks. Like, obviously, you've got your two. See, I was cutting them into individuals, so you got one run through. So you had two screws on each side, and what I was doing was placing one wire, placing one wire in here, one wire in there, and then screwing it tight. These are really good. A really cheap way of doing things. I like them actually. Although I was getting low, these are the last. That's the last of all I've got left. But now I've gone on to something different, far easier to work with, a lot easier, and I like these better because you don't have to cut your wire in half to run your wire through. Whereas with a Scotch lock, I believe that's what they like to be called, you can focus. You can literally run your wire right through, and then have you drop a wire or you another wire, I don't know what to your point motors or anything like that. Literally a drop a wire, and all you do is you push this down with a pair of pliers, this little bit of metal here, push that down, and then you fold over the hood, and it holds it there. And it's really good for powering things. I've got the whole layout now with these. I say the whole layout. Everywhere that's got these little blocks on them has still got the blocks, but I'm now going over to the Scotch locks because, to be honest, they're really good. And obviously I have got my wire through. So I bought those Scotch locks, came with the wire, so, and this was an eBay buy. So I got a 36 gauge wire. Wow, that's really zoomed in. Let's just zoom out. So I've got this, I think it's 10 metres of each I've had so far. So I had 10 metres of the red, 10 metres of the black. And that's 36 gauge, which was for the, what was this? This was bus wire, which I haven't used at the minute. I'm keeping it for other things probably. And then I've got dropper wire. Well, I'm using a lot of this dropper wire because it just works with everything. Point motors, obviously dropper wires for your track. So this is being used an awful lot, hence why I'm getting through it. I did have 10 metres of each of this as well, so I had plenty of wire. But I think I paid in all for this and about 30 of those Scotch locks. I paid about £12, which I think is a fairly alright price, to be honest. Being that I don't know much about wires and how much they normally cost, so I mean, I had the money and I went and bought it. So that does all run. All this is electrified at the minute. Or when I say this, I'm talking about the three lines. At the moment, I have got temporary connections at the end of the lines just to make sure after the points there's still power to it. But as you can tell, I've got all my line in now. I did just upload a video from about a week, well I say a week, nearly nearly a month ago when I videoed it. It's just taken me a long time to get round to uploading it. Where I'd only got, I think, maybe this line in, or this one. Can't remember which one, but one of these lines I'd only just got in and I had one temporary laid. But now this is all finally pinned down and laid. The only downside, I forgot, obviously at the start of this I completely didn't think about buying, not underlaid, but the cork underneath the track. So another thing I've just noticed I've forgotten to do is fill in the gaps in the where the boards didn't meet up. So that's going to be fun when it comes to putting down bed tracking ballast and all that. But we'll work around it, you know, as we always do. We always find a way. Where there's a way, there's a will, and that's the mentality I have, you know. Where I make a mistake, I'll always find a way of trying to rectify that mistake and get it right. So that's how much I got so far. I haven't done anything where I show you how I do it. Hopefully I find it really hard to do something and talk whilst I do it. If any of you know what I mean, I can't demonstrate and talk at the same time. So when I do things like that, I have to really concentrate. And when I concentrate, I really deep breathe, which sounds really odd, but I go into really deep concentration where all of a sudden it sounds like I'm Darth Vader and I'm breathing really deeply. So I do plan on doing demonstrations and how I'm doing things, but I may have to do like a voiceover on how I've done it, because obviously I can't record and talk and work out what I'm doing at the same time, because it just doesn't work for me. My mind can't do it, which is a bit irritating, but it's all fun and games. Hopefully I shall have a little session on showing you how my points work. That won't be at the end of this video. This will be in another video on its own. And then, well, I've got a lot more to do, because obviously I've still got to put the 2 main running lines in, which, irritatingly, when I've done this plan, I really didn't think about main running lines, because I think in my mind, before I was writing or thinking about the plan, I think I was going to just do myself an end-to-end, which was a failure in my mind. But obviously my outside line, this is the main line here, and then this is the inner line. So the outer line, main line, this is the outer line, this is the outer loop, inner loop, and you come round, cross this point, cross this point, cross this point, and then you're still on the outer loop, which is irritating because you've got to operate 3 points for it to stay on the outer loop, whereas the inner loop has to operate 1 point and then it's on its loop, which was my fault really. I should have made the plan up so the outer loops operated as a single thing and they then split off into this station, but obviously my mind wasn't on ball at that point, and I've made the mistake there in doing that. But like I say, it's a learning curve. I keep learning, keep learning. So that's what I've got to do. But this is pretty much all I've got done so far. I've got all this track here. I don't know if these 2 bends are done. I think these are just slightly held in. They're not actually fully held in. So I'll move the camera. These is what I was just talking about. They're not fully held in, so that's another thing to be done. But as I keep saying, I want to put you under the desk and show you the wiring, but because the camera's on its mount, I can't really get it to go down any lower without making it really juddery. So as you can see, this is pretty much everything I've got. And this is the temporary wiring I've got, just to make sure there's power to them. Other than that, everything, because there's power, I can't remember the power comes from. Because I got my negative feed from this top line, and then from this. Oh, how am I doing this? Yes, so the negatives here and the positives here, but obviously on there it's a negative, positive. So these wires are all feeding each other, which is rather cool. It works. It does a job. So that's how far I've got. So guys, thank you for watching today's video, and hopefully thank you for all the new subscribers, but hopefully I get to see you in the next video. I was going to come out and do some more work, but there's really not much more I can do because I've not got enough plan done, so I'm going to have to plan some more of the plan. I'm going to have to actually do more of this plan here. As you can see, everything in black. If it's really clear, I've drawn on here where's in black what's been done, and all the grey what needs doing. Obviously I've got a lot to work out, so thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I shall see you in the next video, which shouldn't be too long.